An interesting book in its third edition, a busy chef on our kitchen set, and using the internet to find the right attorney. All that and more coming right up, and I hope you stay tuned.
Providing entertainment for over 25 years, WALA-TV presents a tradition in Mobile, the Dot Moore Show. Once again, Dot Moore.
Hello everyone, welcome to the show. We're very happy that you're there. Today we'll introduce you to an author of the most interesting way to enhance your traveling days on the road. Also in our kitchen, our guest chef is Filippo Maloney of the Pillars Restaurant, and we have more, but right now, our feature fashion on location. Today, we're in the courtyard at the Mobile Museum of Art in Langham Park. Some people may not even know the courtyard is here who just come out to do the art in the main building. But this is one of the more pleasant facets of the museum. They have beautiful benches set about if you want to come and browse, and some pretty nice looking sculpture all throughout the courtyard. Now the sculpture that we're standing by was done by Jo Hess, a very well-known Mobile sculptress. And the lady is kneeling in the garden. You'll notice the little pots in the front, and she's trying to figure out, I guess, just exactly where to plant her new flowers. So they've developed this courtyard into something that's just splendid to spend some time in at your leisure. That is at the Mobile Art Museum in Langham Park. And our feature fashion today is by Howard Wolf, a very fine designer. He's chosen a linen-like fabric today with a straight sheath dress underneath and a long torso jacket. It's brown, the color that came forth in the fall and spilled over into the spring. This one is trimmed in white and has one little pocket up top. Howard Wolf, wanting you to look good in brown and white all summer long. And our fashion is courtesy of Holiday on Shell Road in Spring Hill. You know, conserving water can be quite a problem in some areas of the country when there's a great drought going on. However, in this report, we learn some of the ways it can be done.
Water, water everywhere, and your garden may flourish. Without it, leaves can wither. To save water when there's little rainfall, and to reduce the water bill, gardeners may want to learn more about water conservation. First, when using a sprinkler, set a timer or an alarm clock to remind you to shut off the water. The most frugal watering method may be to install drip irrigation, which applies water slowly without runoff. Mulching is also a water-wise move. Several inches of compost, shredded fir bark, leaf mold, or other material can cool the soil and reduce evaporation. Weeding removes interlopers that can steal water meant for your plants. Water deeply and infrequently. Shallow sprinkling is not effective. Water early in the day when temperatures are cooler. Collect rainwater in a barrel and use it both to measure rainfall and water plants. An inch is usually enough to let you skip a watering.
A medical school in Wisconsin has just completed a study about how certain liquids affect the health of some Americans. And here's what they found in the study.
You can toast a good heart health with a hearty glass of grape juice. Not just any grape juice, purple grape juice. For years, people have been touting the benefits of red wine for the heart. Studies have shown that red wine in moderation is good for the heart. However, new research has shown that something else is good for the heart too. Purple grape juice. Recently, a University of Wisconsin Medical School study showed that purple grape juice is high in flavonoids. These are antioxidants that protect cells from being damaged, just like the ones in red wine. Purple grape juice also slows the oxidation process of low-density LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol that clogs the arteries. If you don't feel like a glass of red wine, enjoy a glass of purple grape juice. Drink to good health and reap the heart-protecting benefits of red wine.
Welcome back. My first guest is a freelance writer from Madison, Mississippi. She has a book now in its third edition. It was just published last month, as a matter of fact. This is the book, Off the Beaten Path, Mississippi Off the Beaten Path. Please welcome Marlo Kirkpatrick. Welcome to the show, and congratulations on the success
Thank you.
of your book. I found it most interesting. Actually, it's more or less a complete guide to enhance driving on a vacation or a trip, as opposed to just going down the interstate.
Yes, it's got very detailed directions how to get to these unusual places off the beaten path. So if you carry it with you in your car, then you can explore without getting lost.
Well, you know, I dare say there are many people who would love to get off of the beaten path if they really had an incentive and knew how to.
Yes, and I think that the best things that you find are not going to be listed on a website or in a brochure. You have to get out there and find them, and hopefully this will help people get to those out-of-the-way places and those quirky little attractions that aren't well publicized, but that are definitely worth a detour.
Yes. Now, you also do some promotional material for corporate clients.
Yes, ma'am, and that's actually how I came to write this book. I'm a freelance writer, as you said, and different projects that I worked on took me to various areas of Mississippi. And while I was traveling, I always wanted to see something a little different, eat somewhere that was kind of out of the ordinary, and maybe stay in a place other than the local Holiday Inn. And I would find these really interesting places to see things and to eat and to stay. And when I would come back home and tell my friends about it, they would say, well, I can't believe I've never heard about that. Oh. And so I think that there was a real need to record those things and let people know that they were out there.
Well, I was wondering how you came on the idea, because it's quite unique. It even includes special events like every city has, or in every town, some kind of festival.
Some unusual festivals, and some things that maybe aren't so typical, and where you could really go and have a unique experience and really get into kind of the local culture.
And then hotels and restaurants and instructions on how to get off the highway and how to get back on, more or less. I remember one time being in Natchez, Mississippi. What a beautiful place that is, and full of historical landmarks.
Yes, very, very unusual town, and of course they're well known for their antebellum homes and the pilgrimage there, but there are lots of other things to do, and even something that's well known like that, you can find some unusual things there. Most people know about the antebellum homes, but they may not know that several of them have ghosts. Yes. And so those kind of things, those stories and legends are also included in the book, so that maybe you have more of an in-depth look at something, even though you may have thought you were already familiar with it.
Well, now we have a few of the illustrations in the book that we're going to pop up, beginning with a map. Tell us what we're looking at.
The book is divided into 5 regions, and we're seeing a map right now of the South Mississippi coastal region. The major interstates are identified, and that's to help people get around. And so each section would open with a map so that you don't get lost during your adventure. That is Mammy's Cupboard. That's kind of an unusual restaurant. You see a door there in her skirt. This is a towering Mammy that is on the road between Natchez and Port Gibson, and there's actually a little restaurant in there. They do some country cooking, and they have a gift shop where you can buy some kind of southern souvenirs, and so that's kind of an unusual thing for today, something you don't see very often. That is the Father Ryan House in the Gulf Coast area. Father Ryan was the Poet Laureate of the Confederacy, and that house is now a bed and breakfast. You see the unusual feature there. There's a palm tree growing through the front steps. That is Oprah Winfrey's first church. I think people may be aware that Oprah was born in Kosciuszko, Mississippi. What they may not know is that in this church she gave her first public performance. She recited the Easter story for her Sunday school class. That is one of the monuments at Friendship Cemetery in Columbus. Very interesting old cemetery, and that is where the first Memorial Day was held in the nation. Some ladies from Columbus who were war widows from the Civil War decided they would decorate not only Confederate graves but Union graves as well, and so their gesture became famous around the country as a symbol of healing, and Columbus has since been nicknamed where flowers healed a nation, but that was the first Memorial Day.
Interesting. Of course, Mississippi also has a lot about Elvis Presley. It's known, you know, Tupelo, and then Ophir's First Church, I think, is very
Yes,
interesting.
and Faith Hill, who's of course a very hot country star now, she is from Star, Mississippi, which is just down the road from Jackson.
Okay, now we're going to pop up your telephone number for more to order, and also the website if they prefer.
Yes.
Now let's talk a little bit about your collaboration with your husband on books, because he is a wildlife photographer.
He is a wildlife photographer, wildlife and nature, and we actually met working on a project together. And as we were nearing the end of that project, we traveled for another assignment to the Amazon, which is kind of where we fell in love. We were married at Machu Picchu, Peru, and we have been collaborating on coffee table books ever since. We have a new one coming out in October called Wilder, Mississippi, that will be Steve's beautiful wildlife and nature photography and my hopefully beautiful words that will inspire people to kind of appreciate the natural beauty of the state.
Well, I think it's wonderful that the two of you have that compatibility, that you can work together. And
It's been quite an adventure.
So you travel a lot, of course.
Yes, ma'am, we do. We travel Central and South America, Hawaii, Alaska, and then, of course, a lot of work in the southern United States where we live.
Well, I'm just happy that you traveled to my show, and I wish you well on whatever is coming up, and I know you probably have other books. Maybe we'll talk with you along the way.
Yes, ma'am.
It's Mississippi Off the Beaten Path. It's in the 3rd edition. And thank you so much, and good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll be back after this. And we're back and in the kitchen with one of our favorite chefs of all time, Filippo Maloney of the Pillars. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good. I am intrigued with what you have for us today. Does it have a name?
Yes, it does.
Oh,
It's a grilled tuna with a grilled vegetable in a bed of spinach.
Uh-huh.
We can call anything, but it's pretty. I made a mango chutney. It's a very simple little thing to do. You take some red onion, very thin chopped. You boiling for 10 minutes. You add some mince.
10 minutes, okay.
The mince you cook for 1 minute. It's very thin chopped. It will look like this. You put in olive oil and fresh lime. It should not be overpowered. But tuna got to be very fresh, and we'll do the cooking.
Okay.
We'll do a little smoke first. Wake up everybody. It's too early for me. Okay. So we put 2 little tuna. Okay, it's about 8-9 ounce. Pretty serving for one person.
Do you use
or maybe 2.
You use a grill quite often, I imagine.
Well,
in
we
a
have a bigger
restaurant.
grill at the restaurant.
Yeah.
This is a little grill. It's the on-the-road grill.
Okay.
So we put a little bit of salt and pepper, of course. I have already grilled the vegetable one side, and the grill make a very pretty
Now let's
design.
hold that up a little longer so the camera can really pick it up.
Yes.
You've designed it is what you've done
Well,
with the grill.
You
yeah.
cook like this, and then you turn
there,
like this.
there it is, yeah.
Here we have the design, very pretty. So we cook the other side,
Okay.
cooking one side. Tuna cook very fast. As you see, as you change the color, you been do the cooking. So we'll be turning, because we don't want char too much. I'm not truly 100% sure how it is the grill it will cook. He will cook a little bit too faster, but that's okay. We'll get you a very pretty flavor of char, okay? And the zucchini will cook very fast. This is one does 7 minutes dinner.
7 minutes,
That's
okay.
it, 7 minutes.
Now the grill, of course, cooks, doesn't it cook faster than a skillet?
Well, it does.
Yeah.
It will.
You have to watch
It
that,
will
I
make
guess.
those line, and if you want to see the design, you turn like this. You see, and I'll show to you how we make the design. So if you want to create some interesting thing, lime. You can well put a little lime while you're cooking. Okay. And or you can only use the lime you have in there. And we put salt and pepper on one side. This one we gotta put a little bit on the other side. Whatever it is. See what a pretty we did?
Yeah.
Made a little design.
Well, of course, you're reversing it and crisscrossing and making
Correct.
a design.
And that's
yeah.
what it's all about. This one, we'll turn the other side.
Well, how is the fact that you're featuring one special Italian listing on your menu? Is that going well?
We're doing fine. We
Yeah.
have, we do a little bit, some lasagna, we do some cannelloni, we do some ravioli. We have a nice machine to make all the pasta. We do, right now I do an Italian risotto with the seafood. It's very, very, very extraordinary. Very pretty.
Already it's done?
Well, tuna it should be cooked rare. Of course, I mean, you can not have it to eat rare. You eat as you may like. This is a very simple dish. We don't have a lot of time on TV. And if we want to decorate the dish with a little lime, we have a lime cut. This is the basil. This is the truly European basil, okay? You can make a little design like this. Depending how you like to do. The chutney go on the top.
Chutney is so good. It just adds so much.
Because we have a two slices, so
Yeah.
we'll put it two. You look a very pretty dish. You know, you can do home.
Well, that's
It's
a very good
simple,
light
nice and very-
summer
It's a summer
meal.
dish, and it's a very pretty.
Let me ask you something. I know you grow your own herbs out in front of the restaurant.
Yes.
Would basil be the most popular, or one or another?
Well, sometimes, you know, we create what is much more we like the most. I like basil. I like rosemary. I have a lot of bush of rosemary.
Rosemary. Oh,
Yeah. I like dill, and I like garlic chives, where I'll grow all these. And I have some tarragon, where I grew also. Where we it make a little difference, truly, when you do make the pretty fresh herbs in food. You make a lot of difference.
Well, I would think so, yes. I was so surprised the first time you told me you had that and showed me all of those herbs growing right on the restaurant front. Yes. Because it does. It adds everything. As a matter of fact, chefs use a lot of herbs, don't they?
Today, more than ever, since, you know, the culinary in America has been much more upgrading every day. Since we've been blessed to have a lot of fine hotel school and culinary school, they discover the beauty of Le Provence, of Italy or France, where, you know, herb has been a part of every day.
Yes.
And you, like in the summertime, you have a tomato salad, you have with basil, you have mozzarella, buffalo mozzarella, tomato salad, and balsamic vinegar. This vinegar were not even known in years. Very little around the modern Italy, where it's become now worldwide. And
well, you know, that's all the difference in the world, too, the ambiance that you create with your creativity of a chef, yes.
Certainly. But today is more dedicated people, perhaps, than ever before. There's a lot of TV show where it help to
Okay, well,
this
is a delightful change. I like that, because, you know, you don't want to eat too much in the summer, but that's such a tasty dish. It certainly is. Okay. We'll be seeing you along the way.
Thank you. Good to be.
All right, we'll be back. Stay with us. You know, odds are that you, or maybe somebody you know, may have to use an attorney to handle some issue that's very difficult. And the most difficult thing is, how do you find a qualified attorney? In this report, We'll make you aware of a legal website that can help.
Preparing your will, starting your own business, dealing with tax laws, or selling your own home. Sooner or later, you will probably need a lawyer.
There are 800,000 to 1 million lawyers in this country. They weren't created equal. Some are terrific and some are not so terrific.
Finding a good lawyer is not always easy. When Molly Reedy needed an attorney to handle her divorce, she had more questions than answers.
I felt horrible. I was very scared. And I realized that I knew very little about picking an attorney, and I had to do a lot of research to find the right person for my needs and for the kind of money that I could spend.
As the law becomes more specialized and complicated, making an informed choice can be difficult. But internet sites like FindLaw offer consumers valuable information from top legal experts and answers to common legal questions. The website also provides a directory of over 1 million attorneys referenced by type of practice and location.
I used the email information that I got, and I sent questions to a number of attorneys that I was considering, and that was a great first start. And from there, I went and set up interviews with a number of other attorneys and ultimately found one that I was comfortable with.
In looking for a lawyer, you want to know qualifications. You may even want to know prior record or prior clients. So all of the research tools about lawyers can be of tremendous help in not stepping off a cliff.
Molly's attorney says online legal directories take a lot of the guesswork out of hiring an attorney.
It lists my qualifications, so the client is making an informed decision before they even pick up the telephone. And that, I think, is the basis for a very good attorney-client relationship.
FindLaw is just one example of how new technologies are helping lawyers serve their clients. Attorneys can now access legal databases that store more than 8 times the amount of legal information found in the Library of Congress. They can use new wireless technologies to access that information anywhere, collaborate with clients on secure extranets, and improve their skills with educational intranets and online continuing legal education courses. Hiring an attorney can be one of the most important decisions you'll make. Thanks to the internet, you now have the tools you need to find the right fit for you. I'm Mike Woodley reporting.
Another use for the internet. That's our show for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. Our thanks to our guests. And until we see you next week, I hope you stay happy.